forces are stunned. Her W is a wall that she places, as you can see there, a piece of terrain which can be used effectively to wall off somebody's escape route and to also line up your Q because they have nowhere else to run. Her E is a point-and-click projectile that hits the enemy, and if they are stunned by Anivia's Q, or in her ultimate at the time, it will do double damage, 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 double damage. And then her ultimate, she casts a large circle that absorbs mana over time, and it slows and deals damage. So this can be used to help land your Q, as well as to do extra damage on your E, as well as a very, very efficient way to wave clear. And then Anivia's passive. When she dies, she turns into an egg, and you can see the small circle above the egg. It will slowly descend, and if the duration is completed and the egg is not killed, you are revived with the amount of health that you have remaining on the egg. Now let's go into her skins. Anivia has Team Spirit Anivia, Bird of Prey Anivia, Noxus Hunter Anivia, Hextech Anivia, Black Frost Anivia, Prehistoric Anivia, Festival Queen Anivia, and Papercraft Anivia. My thoughts on this champion. I hate going up against this champion because I am an Udyr player, and every single one of this champion's abilities absolutely demolishes Udyr's entire kit, which is based around movement speed. She stuns you, she slows you, she can wall you off so you can't get in melee form. Extremely, 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 extremely obnoxious for Udyr to deal with. Now then, let's go take a look at her lore. Anivia, the Cryo Phoenix. Anivia is an ancient Fereldian demigod who represents the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth intrinsically associated with the changing seasons. To those who venerate her, she is an eternal soul of the Freljord, a symbol of hope and a sacred catalyst of change. Stories passed down through the ages often tell of how she rewards those who are kind and humble. On the rare occasion a mortal glimpses her, or at least claims to, she is described as a noble spirit bird of ice, with glittering wings that span the heavens and a piercing cry that can be heard over even the fiercest storm. The songs of the nomadic No-Tide tribe tell how Anivia's birth first brought snow into the world. When she burst from her giant egg of ice, tiny pieces of it were hurled into the sky, and it has fallen as snow ever since. And according to the sagas of the Morngro tribe, the frigid winds that scour the Freljord originate from the first beats of her wings. Indeed, the full power of winter is Anivia's to command, and those who seek to desecrate her homeland, she is a bitter foe. When roused to anger, she can cleave fortresses and mountains, and her screech can summon blizzards cold enough to shatter steel. One of the most enduring and respected beliefs is that Anivia's greatest gift to Freljord was the creation of true ice infused with elemental magic. This unmelted substance is pure and potent, and the greatest seers and ice mages have long strived to use shards of true ice to amplify their might, while weapons that have even a tiny sliver forged into them are deadly beyond belief. When mortals first arrived in the Freljord, Anivia welcomed them. Seeing that they could not withstand the cold, she guided them to secluded valleys, where they could shelter, become established, and slowly harden themselves against the elements. She nurtured and watched over them for those first precarious centuries, and they in turn worshipped her. Anivia hoped that these newly arrived tribes would remain unified in defending the Freljord from outsiders, but slowly infighting and blood feuds became all too common, making an invasion inevitable. According to legend, a greedy southern king marched his warriors up through the mountains, seeking to claim dominion over the Northlands and shackle their wind magic for himself. So enraged was Anivia at the outsiders' hubris and disrespect that she blasted them with a snowstorm that lasted a century and a day. Scattered standing stones can still be seen on the scouring path, what the locals claim are all that remain of that ancient army. Other tales include the Avarosan legend of Ulta Shatterspear, an iceborn war mother who was favored by Anivia for saving a young hawk from a rime-fang wolf. Across her lifetime, the Cryo Phoenix protected Ula from harm, and when she finally fell in battle, having witnessed almost 100 winters, it is said that Anivia welcomed her with wings spread wide. If all of these legends are true, then Anivia must have witnessed the rise and fall of countless mortal civilizations. While there are still some dwindling remnants of those earlier times, most have been long forgotten and buried beneath millennia of ice. But death cannot touch Anivia herself. The sagas speak of how she has been struck down and slain a handful of times throughout history, though she is always reborn. For as long as the Freljord exists, her soul is immortal. While it may be hundreds or even thousands of years before she rises again, each rebirth coincides with the dawning of a new era. Thus, her appearance, while regarded as a wondrous blessing, is often the harbinger of something terrible on the horizon. Once it is said, she sacrificed herself against a march of towering Balestriders. Anivia knew she could not slay these colossal creatures, and so she plunged into the ice beneath their feet, shattering her own body in order to entomb them. Recently, some claim Anivia has hatched from the egg once more, and that she has appeared before the new leader of the Avarosians, the War Mother Ash. In her, perhaps Anivia sees one who may be able to finally reunite the Freljord. Yet if the Cryo Phoenix has indeed returned, as more and more shamans and spirit walkers proclaim, then it must be asked, what great